Hi, hello, CA final students. How are you all? So, welcome to the IDT marathon. So that today only your DT exam got over, right? So, I think paper, I don't know. I did not ask anyone as to how the paper was. So, easy, difficult, seriously, I don't know. And about IDT paper, in one group, one paper will be difficult. So therefore, I just wanted to hear from you. So how was your DT paper? If DT paper was easy, then IDT paper will be difficult. Okay. So if DT paper was difficult, thank God IDT paper will be easy. So I don't know, and how your DT exam went, and coming to indirect taxes. So usually at May 25 or any May exam, the focus will be more on amendments. And previously there used to be only May exam and November exam. As there used to be only May and November exam, we know the strategy. But now they have made it into 3 attempts. Okay. So yes, manageable, average, like that they were telling, students are telling. And when it becomes 3 attempts, that is May, September and January. Yes, CA exams are going to be like this. So now the paper is becoming like unpredictable. So we don't know like from where the questions will be asked, etc. and all. So my suggestion to you is the overall coverage. So don't leave anything, just cover everything in a quick manner and go to the exam. The selective preparation may not work out. Okay, that's the reason why I gave a revision plan, and that revision plan wholeheartedly you follow that will be sufficient. And in today's marathon, what we are going to discuss is about some important theory concepts. So many students were asking me, sir, you have given, because I have shared 10 success sutras for success in CA final May 25 exam in IDT. So which long back I shared with the students, and in that I have given one PDF. There I mentioned these are the important theory questions that you should cover. But many students were asking me, sir, can you quickly discuss those theory questions also, so it will be easy for us to recollect and remember and go for exam. For that reason, I am just discussing all these things are there in your that's it book. Okay, and you can just see the first question, and even I will share this PDF also, don't worry, I will share this PDF also for you, and just concentrate on understanding what is it about. Okay, so now you need to unlearn DT and coming to IDT. Got it? IDT, GST, customs, FTP, come back to this. Okay, then next first question, these are some important theory concepts. This is useful for either application based questions or some theory questions, because as I told you, they are taking ChatGPT and putting the questions, and even Operation Sindoor is on CA students, CA final students. Already in auditing they have faced, and maybe you have to carry dictionary also. Next batch onwards, we need to train the students in terms of English knowledge as well. Even first we need to learn English for that purpose. Okay, and so always I say surprises us. And coming back to this first question, situations leading to cancellation of registration, you just remember the mnemonic, frantic violation of bailer. And these mnemonics and all, kindly avoid writing in the answer sheet, don't write. Okay, but just remember this and you write the point one by one. Okay, first one, frantic, that is fraudulently obtaining registration obtained by fraudulently obtaining registration, or returns not filed for consecutive 6 months or 2 quarters, and then annual return by a composition scheme dealer not filed within 3 months after the due date. What is the due date for annual return? So previously it was 30th April, now it is 30th June for composition scheme. Okay, so then N no longer liable to be registered means what, their aggregate turnover would have fallen below the threshold limit, or previously they were covered under compulsory registration, now they are not covered under compulsory registration. Then T, transfer or discontinuance of business. So frantic. I for invoice without supply, that is giving incorrect invoice, or invoice without supply, that invoice default. and see change in constitution of business, that is sole proprietorship becoming partnership or partnership becoming company, etc. So this is frantic. These are the cases where the registration is liable to be cancelled. Then violation of bailer. This violation of is common for all the points in bailer. B for bank details not furnished within the time. What is the time limit within which bank details to be furnished? Within 30 days from the date we got the registration certificate, or the date, not due date, the date on which we file the GSTR1, whichever is earlier will be taken as the time limit for furnishing bank details. If the bank details are not furnished within the time limit, means violation that leads to cancellation of registration. Then violation of anti-profiteering order. So anti-profiteering order is served upon a person and he was asked to pay the profited amount and the penalty, but he did not deposit that profited amount or not paid the penalty, etc. That leads to cancellation of registration. Then violation of ITC. So incorrectly or wrongfully availing the ITC will also lead to suspension of registration. Then liability in GSTR1 exceeds liability in GSTR3B. So my liability in GSTR1 exceeds the liability in GSTR3B for one or more tax periods. That is also one of the reasons for cancellation of registration. And then, so rule 86B violation, what is that? So whenever my taxable turnover in a month, taxable turnover excludes zero rated turnover, okay? So while computing rule 86B, be careful with respect to rule 86B, because definitely in questions, so we may forget application of rule 86B. So what you need to do is that first check what is your taxable turnover, and while doing the taxable turnover, don't take zero rated turnover, okay? Don't take zero rated turnover, just the taxable turnover. If it exceeds 50 lakhs, exceed 50 lakhs in a particular month, then we have to pay 1% of our gross liability. Remember, FCM liability, gross liability under FCM, not RCM, FCM liability. That too, while determining the FCM liability, don't take exports upon payment of IGST. Usually when we do exports or supply to SEZ upon payment of IGST, so don't take that into liability. So gross liability other than zero rated related gross liability under FCM, in that 1% we have to pay using the electronic cash ledger. If we violate it, that will also lead to cancellation of registration. That is this bailer. R for, this is the latest amendment, that is whenever the registration gets cancelled because of any reason above and we make an application for revocation of cancellation. What is the time limit within which we make application for revocation of cancellation of registration? From the date of cancellation order, 90 days, and it can be extended for a further period of 180 days. So we will make an application for revocation of cancellation order and they will take the decision whether to revoke it or reject the application. So 30 days like that. So first 30 days and then they will give notice or they will pass the revocation order. So after revocation order, there will be some pending returns. From where to where? From the cancellation of registration to the revocation order, there will be some pending returns. Those pending returns needs to be filed within 30 days after revocation order. So those pending returns, if not filed within 30 days after revocation order, that will also lead to cancellation of registration. That is this point, return not filed within 30 days after revocation order. So these are the cases that leads to cancellation of registration. And in this, so usually all these cases, department will issue notice for cancellation of registration, but there are few cases where a person can make application for cancellation of registration, that is transfer or discontinuance of business, no longer liable to be registered, and change in constitution. These three cases we can voluntarily make application for cancellation. Then next one, who can act as an authorized representative? See, these are all the concepts which are probable to be tested in exam, because usually what happens, as I already told you, the strategy for answering. So just go through my revision plan. So there I have given last. So what is the strategy that you need to follow? So question number 2 to question number 5. But sometimes in this question number 2 to 5, some questions will be completely out of the box. You know, we don't know from where it is in the study material also, like that it will be. So at that time, theory question will help us. So that's the reason why I have given, these are some important theory questions. On a safer side, it's advisable to learn this. Who can act as an authorized representative? That is given in section 116. So any relative of a person or a regular employee or advocate and professional, all CA, CMA, CS, can act as an authorized representative, and even GST practitioner. So some issue. What happened here? Okay, one second. Okay. I think now it is properly coming. Yes, okay, fine. Done. So I just changed it. Yes, this video will be available even after the live session also, so don't worry about it. So see this, relative and regular employee, advocate or CA, CS, professional, and retired officer of government. Any retired officer of government also can act as an authorized representative. For what purpose? To represent the taxpayer. And even GST practitioner. These are all the people who can act as authorized representative. But remember, a person removed from government service, okay? So government service, if a person has been removed, see, retired officer can be, but what if he is suspended? So no, he cannot become an authorized representative. Or who is convicted of an offense. If they are convicted under any offense, they cannot become authorized representative. And professional found guilty of professional misconduct. If they are found guilty of professional misconduct or adjudged as insolvent, cannot appear as authorized representative. So this is something which you need to remember. And suppose if at all you get a 4-mark question, a 5-mark question, you can make use of it and you can just write like points. See, these are the key one. So just explain that and you write. Then officers to assist, proper officers under GST. So whenever an officer is going for any search proceedings or any other inspection proceedings, in that case, whose support they can take? They can take the support of police, they can take the support of police, railways, customs, even village officers and officers in charge of collection of land revenue. So these land revenue collectors will be there. So these people can be taken as assistants for the purpose of conducting any such proceedings. Then non-applicability of e-invoice and dynamic QR code. There are some cases where e-invoice is not applicable. First of all, when e-invoice is applicable, remember, if my aggregate turnover in any previous year exceeds 5 crores, then e-invoice will be applicable with respect to B2B supplies. Okay, for B2C supplies, e-invoice not applicable. And in recent intermediate, CA intermediate paper, they have asked one MCQ. So what they said, in which of the following cases QR code is required? Okay, and almost every student wrote the answer about dynamic QR code, but actually the question is only QR code. So QR code is applicable only under e-invoice. So dynamic QR code is only applicable for B2C. So when they have given QR code, so these people thought they are talking about dynamic QR code and they wrote the provision, like they selected the options related to dynamic QR code, but actually it will be e-invoice related QR code. Okay, so like that they will be confusing you. So therefore, so e-invoice is applicable if the aggregate turnover in any previous year exceeds 5 crores, and for B2B supplies. For exports, always e-invoice is required. So B2B, B2C, don't check there. Always e-invoice required, but in some cases e-invoice not applicable. That is this biggest. B for banking company, financial institution, NBFC. I for insurance company. G for GTA. And G for government department and local authority. E for exhibition of a film in a multiplex theatre. S for SEZ unit. So whenever supply is made, and remember, sometimes they will confuse you by telling, so supply to government departments, e-invoice is applicable. Only all these are by. So government, that is supply by government department, supply by SEZ. So these case only. And transportation of passengers, any mode. When it comes to goods, only GTA, and when it comes to passengers, any mode. And in this regard, one more important point I wanted to stress. See, sometimes in exam, they will give transportation of goods by a goods carriage or transportation of goods by a transporter. Like that they will be generalizing. So these are all exempted. See, remember, when it comes to transportation of goods by roadways, only GTA or courier agency will be taxable. All others are exempted. Okay, and they will confuse you by giving goods carriage. goods carriage does not mean they are GTA. So only they should be issuing a consignment note. GTA is also a transporter, but only difference between a normal transporter and a GTA is that, so normal transporter will not issue a consignment note, but GTA issues a consignment note. Somewhere that information will be hidden in the paragraph. Okay, so be careful about that. Then, so GTA, e-invoice not applicable, transportation of passengers by any mode. Okay, then irrespective of aggregate turnover, QR code not required, dynamic QR code not required in the following cases. So this is biggest, this is big 2. In that BIG is same, and TOE, transportation of passengers any mode, OIDR supplier located outside India and making supply to non-taxable online recipient in India. Okay, in that case. Then exhibition of film in a multiplex cinema theater. So these are the cases where dynamic QR code is not applicable. Then next, advanced ruling procedure. So screen, theory and case studies done. Important theory questions. So I have not yet shared. So this I will share. I will discuss it and I will share it in the Telegram, but just focus on listening to the class. Okay. And advanced ruling procedure, you can see here. So this also sometimes will be relevant because they will give a theory question as to so and so person is making advanced ruling, and the procedure they will be expecting us to write there. Okay. So first there will be an applicant who will make an application for advanced ruling authority, and that application will be along with a fees of CGST 5000 and SGST 5000. Once the application is made to the authority for advanced ruling, a copy of the application will be sent to the jurisdictional officer, and the jurisdictional officer shares the relevant records related to those proceedings with the authority for advanced ruling, and thereafter this authority for advanced ruling will examine the records, and after giving opportunity of being heard will either accept the application or reject the application. But if they are doing either acceptance or rejection, that will be intimated both to the taxpayer and to the jurisdictional officer. Everything will be intimated to both. Okay. And what is the time limit within which they need to pronounce the ruling? Within 90 days from the application, they need to pronounce the ruling and they will pass a advanced ruling, and that order of advanced ruling will also be shared to both the parties, that is taxpayer as well as the jurisdictional officer. And now if the taxpayer is not satisfied or is of the opinion that the advanced ruling is pronounced is not correct, and then in that case they can make an appeal to appellate authority for advanced ruling, and the time limit for that is 30 days, plus it can be extended for a further period of 30 days. In exam don't write plus 30 days and all, you write while writing. So the period up to 30 days which can be extended for a further period not exceeding 30 days, like that. So all the time limits whatever you remember, so you try to write the legal phrases. Okay. Then what is the fee? 10,000 rupees plus 10,000 rupees, and appellate authority for advance ruling, and they are also going to pronounce the ruling within 90 days from the date of appeal, and that will be intimated to both the parties. Okay, just visualize this image and you write it in theory. Okay, if at all you get a question on procedure for advance ruling. Then revisional authority under GST. So usually revisional authority will be appointed for the purpose of revision of adjudication orders. Adjudication order is passed by the officer, so demand order or adjudication order, and that may be incorrect. For that reason, revision authority will take up the order for revision and may on its own motion or upon information received by it or on request from commissioner call for and examine the record of any proceedings, and if they consider that the particular adjudication order is illegal or erroneous or prejudicial to the interest of revenue or has not considered certain material facts, what they will do, either they will enhance or modify or annul the particular adjudication order, and that is about this. Then there is no revision in certain cases. What is that? Number one, if a particular adjudication order is subject to appeal, in that case revisional authority will not take up the order for revision. However, in that adjudication order on few grounds we did not go for appeal, so with respect to those grounds they will definitely do the revision. And what if the order is already taken up for revision? Again another authority will not take up the order for revision, and suppose if the order is a revisional order, not adjudication order, that also cannot be taken up for revision. Then time limit, suppose if appeal is filed against that adjudication order, but few grounds they can do revision. So 1 year from the outcome of appeal or 3 years from the adjudication order, whichever is later. And suppose normal cases it will be after 6 months, because 6 months there is a time limit to go for appeal. So after 6 months from adjudication order and within 3 years from adjudication order, in the 2.5 year block, they can do the revision order. Then refund is not subject to unjust enrichment in the following cases. In these cases, refund is not subject to unjust enrichment. So first, under GST. So this again, so somewhere it will definitely be useful, at least in MCQs or in theory. So generally we need to prove unjust enrichment by way of either giving a declaration or getting a CACMA certificate, and declaration if the refund does not exceed 2 lakh rupees. If the refund exceeds 2 lakh rupees, we need to get a certificate from CACMA. However, in some cases, neither declaration nor certificate from CACMA is required under GST. First, refund of unutilized ITC on account of zero rated supplies or inverted tax structure. Then refund arising on account of refund voucher. Sometimes we give refund voucher and we claim the refund of the GST component in that case. Refund on account of wrong classification. What is that? Treating intrastate supply as interstate supply and vice versa. Refund of excess balance in the cash ledger, and refund claimed by unregistered recipient. So recipient will be claiming the refund in that case. And refund of IGST paid on only export of goods or services, not SEZ. Refund of IGST paid on export of goods or services. These are the cases. Then when it comes to customs, in customs also in some cases we don't have to prove unjust enrichment. What is that? If importer or exporter has not passed on incidence of duty or interest to any other person. So means importer is only bearing the burden, or buyer who has borne the duty has not passed on incidents to any other person. So then imports by individual for personal use, as they are only consuming. So in that case, then export duty paid under section 26. So sometimes we will export and the same goods exported will be returned back. At the time of export, we would have paid some export duty. So when it is coming back, we don't have to prove unjust enrichment, we can claim the refund. Then duty drawback, that is imported goods when it is exported. Upon import, whatever customs duty paid, we will get a refund. So that also we don't have to prove unjust enrichment. Duty or interest borne by notified applicant. So if they notify from time to time and it is clearly evident in the bill of entry that there is some excess payment. We imported only 200 units, but by mistake we paid customs duty for 400 units. In that case, it is clearly evident. So no need to prove unjust enrichment. Okay, because we can sell only 200, we cannot sell 400 units for that reason. Then modes of service of notice, another question. So what are the different modes by which we can service the notice? Either communication to his email address, or publication in a newspaper circulating in the locality, or registered post or speed post with acknowledgement due, or either uploading on the common portal or directly or by a messenger. If all these are not practicable, then they can display in the notice board of the officer. Okay, next. Principle to be considered while determining whether a case falls within the above monetary limits. Like now there is an amendment related to the monetary limit. So department, when it go for appeal, GST 80, what is a monetary limit? 20 lakhs. And if it is High Court, 1 crore, and if it is Supreme Court, 2 crores. That is a monetary limit. Means only if the tax involved in the dispute exceeds that particular limit, they can go for appeal. Exactly that amount, they cannot go for appeal. Exceeding that amount only, they can go for appeal. Who? Department, not for the taxpayer. And now in this case, while determining that monetary limit, what should be taken? If there is tax, interest and penalty, all three, just see the tax. Don't see the interest and penalty. Just see the tax. If everything is there, just see the tax. The two which tax? Total tax. Total tax. Here that 20 lakhs, 1 crore and 2 crores is not CGST, SGST, etc. It is total. And again, one more important point I wanted to stress here, that when we need to do separately CGST, SGST, only in 3 places we need to do separately CGST, SGST. One is late fee for delay in filing returns. Next, in case of offences, okay, that is that penalty, offences that leads to penalty. There also we need to do separately CGST, SGST. Then pre-deposit for appeal. These are the 3 places where you do separately, but in all other places, in imprisonment, they use the word more than 1 crore. What is it more than 1 crore? Total tax. total tax. Okay, so imprisonment more than 1 crore means invoice without supply, there will be imprisonment. So then compounding of offence also 2 crore, 5 crore, like that and all it is given. So that is total. Every other place it will be the total tax. Okay, only in these 3 places we need to check. Here again, so total tax you need to take while determining the 20 lakhs, 1 crore or 2 crores, and only interest. If the dispute is only interest, then only interest. If the dispute is only penalty, only penalty. If the dispute is only late fee, then only late fee you will check. And suppose if it is interest, penalty, under or late fee, everything, then all these 3 things you will take. If it is erroneous refund, just check the refund, total refund. And so monetary limit shall be applied on the disputed amount, and as the case may be. And sometimes in case of composite orders means against multiple orders, single appeal will be filed by the department. In that case, we will see the total, all the orders put together only will be taken. And next, suppose if the appeal is not filed by the department because of monetary limit issue, does not mean that they are accepting to it. This is one thing. Then following cases to be taken on merits irrespective of monetary limits. This is something which will be tested. That is, suppose if it is ultra vires the constitution, if the case is ultra vires the constitution, or the case is relating to ultra vires the act, that is rules ultra vires the act, or the notifications and orders ultra vires the rules and act, like that. Okay, and next, where the matter is related to valuation of goods, not supply. Suppose if the issue is pertaining to supply, they can go for that monetary limit will be applicable. But if the issue is related to valuation, classification, refund, place of supply, or any other issue which is recurring in nature, remember this. Then strictures or adverse comments, or any other case where the board is of necessary. Then these are non-appealable orders. This is one, exceptions to the monetary limit. Then what are the non-appealable orders? Like that we may get a question, means on that appeal itself cannot be filed by the taxpayer. So far whatever we discussed is by the department, so now it is by the taxpayer. By the taxpayer, transfer of proceedings from one officer to another officer, whenever there is a transfer of proceedings, or seizure of books and documents. We have a search and seizure, that case seizure. On penalty order we can go. And related to the penalty order, some students ask me this doubt, sir, against the penalty order under section 129, that is during the transit, when the vehicle is intercepted by the proper officer, so there will be penalty under section 129. That's what, owner come forward, owner does not come forward, like that we have some provision. Now in that case, the penalty order is passed under 129. Against that penalty order, can we go for appeal? Yes, of course we can go for appeal. Against seizure order we cannot go for appeal, but against penalty order we can go for appeal. First appeal, what is the appeal pre-deposit? The pre-deposit for that will be 25% of penalty for first appeal. Now second appeal, they have not specified anything, means we don't have to pay pre-deposit. Yes, so against that, when we go to GST 80, we don't have to pay any pre-deposit, and at the time of first appeal itself, that's why we are paying 25%. Okay, then next, so for seizure order not possible. Then order sanctioning prosecution. Prosecution means imprisonment order, we cannot go for appeal. And order sanctioning payment of dues in installments, there also it is not possible. Then next one, so it's not that big here, few pages only, total 9 page document only, and already we are in 6 page, 3 more pages. Let's complete this. Okay, so but at least now you should have little bit of patience, okay, exam is day after tomorrow, little bit patience you should be having. Okay, and otherwise of course they made 3 attempts, but why you write 3 attempts? Little bit patience, control everything and listen, because when you are reading all these things, now listening itself is difficult, means when you read you will sleep for this. Okay, so that's the reason why I am discussing all these things now. Functions of Competition Commission of India. So what are the various functions of Competition Commission of India? Number 1, first, to check whether they have passed on the benefit, okay, or not. So what is that benefit? So if there is a reduction in tax rate, they need to pass on the benefit. If there is a increase in availment of ITC, they need to pass on that benefit. To determine whether benefit of reduction in rate or availment of ITC passed on to the recipient by way of reduction in price. To identify the registered person who has not passed on the benefit, first to check that. Second, the person, and to order reduction in prices prospectively, or return to the recipient the benefit not passed on, that is profited amount needs to be returned. And in case it is not, the person is not identifiable, it should be going to Consumer Welfare Fund. Imposition of penalty. What is the penalty? 10% of the profited amount. But remember, if you pay the profited amount within 30 days, then the penalty will be waived off. Okay, 10% of the profited amount and cancellation of registration. So these are the functions of Competition Commission of India. Then access to business premises. So section 71. The purpose is to just access the business premises and the place. Only business premises can be accessed, nothing else. And the person, only registered person, and warrant not required. Usually in case of search there is a warrant required, but in case of access to business premises, warrant is not required. But such officer who is accessing the business premises should be an authorized officer. Reason to believe evasion is not required. Usually this access to business premises will be coming before search. Okay, so therefore whenever they use the word access to business premises, don't write the provisions related to search and all. Next, different modes of recovery of tax. Recovery of tax. So like once the demand order is passed, what is the time limit within which we need to make the payment of that ordered amount? Within 3 months. Within 3 months from the date on which they pass the order, we need to pay, otherwise recovery proceedings will be initiated. So what are the different modes of recovery? Number one, deduction from any money owed from government. So like some refunds will be given by government, so that refund can be withheld by the government. Okay, so deduction from any money owed from government. Sale of goods under the control of proper officer. So usually proper officer will seize some goods that can be sold. And garnishee proceedings, that is recovery from a third person. And sale of movable or immovable property. Then as arrears of land revenue by collector. So like that, collector, land revenue collector, that one. Then as fine imposed by magistrate and through surety. So these are the different modes of recovery of tax. Then next, precautions while issuing summons. So what are the precautions to be taken? Summons, any person, like officer can ask any person to appear before the officer to give any document or record or give evidence, etc. So that particular person who is coming, if he is not appearing because of summons, there is a penalty under 122 subsection 3 up to 25,000, that will be the penalty. And precautions, it can be exercised only when there is an inquiry and attendance is necessary and should not be issued repeatedly. So means minimum number of times he should be asked. Person should not be made to wait for longer hours unless it is a matter of strategy, and statement should be recorded only during office hours unless regards the facts of the case. So these are the precautions. One theory question. Then payment of tax dues in installments. Generally there is a installment facility, that is the moment adjudication order is passed, we can ask for installment facility. How many EMIs are possible? Up to 24 EMIs. An application shall be made to the commissioner and maximum 24 EMIs. If there is a default in payment of one installment, then the whole outstanding balance shall become due and payable immediately. But in some cases, facility of installment not allowed, 25,000. That is, there is one point, the amount for which installment facility sought is less than 25,000, not equal to 25,000, less than 25,000. So then, installment facility we cannot go for. Then the taxable person has already defaulted in payment of any amount for which recovery process is on. With respect to another order, they will not give installment facility, and a taxable person has not been allowed to make payment in installments in the preceding financial year. So last year if he has not been allowed because of any reason, then this year it's a continuing case. So then this year also installment facility will not be made available to him. That is this case. These are the 3 points. Then as per section 72 of Customs Act, there are some cases where the goods are improperly removed. Okay, what are those cases? When the goods are said to be improperly removed from customs warehouse. Number one, contravention of section 71. Means if the goods are not taken to warehouse, like another warehouse, or if the goods are not cleared for home consumption, or if the goods are not exported, then in that case, okay, so neither cleared for home consumption or export are not duly accounted for the satisfaction of the customs officer, or if the goods are not cleared within the permissible time period. So what is the time period within which the goods should be cleared? 1 year, and it can be extended for a further period also, but within that permissible period from the date of warehousing order, if you are not clearing, that will lead to goods improperly removed and not removed within the permissible warehousing period, that is this. The proper officer may demand, and the owner of such goods shall forthwith pay. And we have an important case in this regard. As per Kesoram Rayan case, if the goods are not cleared within the permissible warehousing period, the goods are deemed to be improperly removed and the duty can be demanded accordingly. Then what are the benefits available to authorized economic operator under foreign trade policy? So authorized economic operator, this is a theory question. So remember, preferential bets for authorized economic operator. Number one, preferential customs treatment they will get in terms of reduced examination and faster processing and clearance of cargo, so their goods will be cleared immediately. Then B, border clearance privileges, not only here, so here also priority, there also priority, where in those countries with which India is having mutual recognition agreement partner countries. Then enhanced port delivery, on priority everything will happen to them in the port also. Then deferred payment they have, so rather than paying customs duty immediately on filing bill of entry, they can defer it, and self certification they can do. So these are the benefits available to AEO. Then advance authorization for annual requirement and eligibility condition, there is something called as advance authorization for annual requirement that shall be issued for items notified in standard input output norms, and advance authorization shall not be available in respect of which SION where input is notified. Then exporters having past export performance, so they should be having some export performance at least preceding 2 financial years, and how much will be the entitlement, means to what extent they can import. They can import to the extent of CIF value shall be 300% of FOB value of physical export in the preceding financial year. So last year exports into 300% or 1 crore, whichever is higher, to that extent they will be given the one-time license. That is this advance authorization for annual requirement. This may come, or this point can be tested in MCQ. Then owner's right to deal with warehoused goods. So what are the various rights available to the owner? So either they can see and inspect the goods. Number two, they can sort the goods, and they can make it available for sale, show the goods for sale. But the only restriction is that they should exercise care and caution to ensure that there is no loss or deterioration of those goods. Okay. Then next one, what are the situations that leads to provisional assessment? So first, importer or exporter unable to do the self-assessment. So if they are unable to do the self-assessment, or proper officer deems it necessary to carry out either chemical examination or test, or proper officer is of the opinion that they have to verify the records, necessary documents not produced before the officer, and officer wanted to carry out, or produced but still officer wanted to conduct further inquiry. These are the situations. And the last question, deferred payment of import duty. This is proviso to section 47, read with deferred payment. So who will be allowed? Just now we saw authorized economic operator. So under deferred payment option, class of importers who can avail this facility will be notified, and eligible importer should report, like intimate to the jurisdictional commissioner, and duty to be paid by the due dates. What are those due dates? So we have now, so if the bill is returned from 1st to 15th of the month, it is by 16th working day. If the bill is returned from 16th to the end of the month, the next month first working day, like that. And this is important point, if there is a default in payment by due date more than once in 3 consecutive months, this facility will not be allowed unless the duty with interest is paid in full. Also, this facility is not available for goods not declared in the bill of entry. Okay, so that is like smuggled goods. For that, this facility is not there, and who will go for deferred payment for smuggled goods? So these are the points, and these are some important theory questions or concepts which usually you will skip, and that's the reason why I just took half an hour of your time and I have explained all these things. Okay, so definitely when you are reading, you will not be reading in this half an hour time, at least something is going in your head. So that is the objective behind it. Next, and as I already told you that in today's marathon we will be discussing about the important theory questions, and that I have completed. And now I told you like around some 8 case scenarios I have selected. See, there are 35 case scenarios which is there in the case scenario booklet that is provided by ICI. But all the 35 case scenarios, there is no point in doing. So I have listed down some 8 case scenarios. I said that it is important, but again, students have requested me, sir, we cannot do it. So you just quickly discuss as to what are these questions about, so that we will get an idea and we will save our time. And yes, I agree to this, and I said that I will do this as a marathon, and I am doing it now. Okay, so without further delay, we will move on to this first one, case scenario number 1. So these are some important case scenarios, and don't ask me where this PDF etc is there. It's already there in ICI. It's the ICI's PDF only which I am taking here. So this first one is related to some complex transaction. So they have given some paragraph here. Let's try to understand what is this paragraph about. So Supernova LLC Japan is one company. Okay, Supernova LLC. So this is one particular entity where in Japan it is, and Supernova India Limited is in Gujarat, and they also have another company, Supernova Incorporation Singapore, and these two are subsidiary companies. Subsidiary means no doubt they will be treated as related. And what happens, Supernova Incorporation Singapore is selling goods to one company, Alpha Limited Maharashtra, a subcontractor. So many students ask me this doubt, sir, why won't Alpha Limited become related person? No, Alpha Limited is not related, because Alpha Limited is just the subcontractor. So they are not treated as related person. So therefore, Alpha Limited will import the goods from Supernova Incorporation Singapore, and they will be selling the processed goods to Supernova India Limited, and they are not related parties. And whatever sales which is made to Supernova India Limited, again it will be sold to various customers by Supernova India Limited, and 20% of the sales they will be sharing with Supernova LLC Japan. So this is the complex transaction which they have given in this first paragraph. Okay, now beyond that there is nothing actually. So crucial point is this 20%. So whatever sales that is made by Supernova India Limited in Gujarat, 20% will be shared with Supernova LLC, means that will become import of services. It's like a commission they are giving, so that will become import of service. That's the key point here. Next one. During the month of January, so they have given some January data. Alpha Limited imported the goods worth 10 lakhs from Supernova Incorporation Singapore. That's an inward supply import. The interstate purchase of Alpha Limited from domestic market amounted to 2 lakhs. That is again purchases, inward supply. During the month of January, all these are January data. The value of processed goods sold by Alpha Limited to Supernova India Limited amounted to 10 lakhs. So this is outward supply, 10 lakhs. Further, Supernova India Limited paid an additional amount equal to 2 lakhs for transportation and handling of goods to third party, which was contractually agreed to be paid by Alpha Limited. Any amount that the supplier is liable to pay, but which is paid by the recipient, should be included in the value as per 15(2)(b). Okay, accordingly this 2 lakh rupees should be included. Alpha Limited has also charged an amount equivalent to 12,000 on such processed goods as miscellaneous municipal levy. So usually taxes, duties and cess by whatever name called other than GST should be included in the value as per 15(2)(a). Accordingly, so this 12,000 rupees also to be included in that outward supply. Okay, and they have given some more data. Now usually what I advise for case scenarios is that you read some first paragraph. So whenever you see in the exam the case scenarios, because when you read, you will, lot of provisions get connected to it. So, and you don't know whether all those are relevant or irrelevant, etc. and all. So for that reason, first we need to cut down. So it's like you are like a horse in the road, and when you are a horse in the road, usually horse will see 180 degrees and it won't know what is actually happening. So that's the reason why for horse used in the horse car, they tie a kind of eye shield so that it will see only the front. Like that, you don't bother about all those things. So that's the reason why the best advice is, after reading the first paragraph, you need to go to this questions, multiple choice questions, question you need to read. So you need to highlight really what is that question about. So first question is about total GST liability. GST liability means what? You need outward supply, inward supply, and you need to know what is the net GST liability. Net of input tax credit, if any, of Alpha Limited for the month of January. So there is one question related to computation of net GST liability. So whatever numbers that we are reading will be connected to net GST liability. Means outward supply, inward supply, ITC, output tax, that should be connected. That's it. Okay. Next one. What shall be the gross IGST liability without any adjustment of input tax credits? This is the gross IGST of Supernova India Limited for the month of January. So Supernova India Limited, like that one company is there. For that, what is the liability? Means that also we need to see. Next, whether input tax credit is available on GST paid by Supernova India Limited on the invoice amounting to 1 lakh to the hotel located in Mumbai, Maharashtra for stay of employee. So there is one transaction related to that they have given. Whether GST is applicable on event organized by Fun Events Limited for Supernova India Limited, and what will be the place of supply. So there is one question related to place of supply. Now you know what are all the questions. So based on this only, our mind will start thinking. So now here they gave some inward data and outward data of Alpha Limited, which is useful for first MCQ. Then Supernova India Limited sold the goods purchased from Alpha Limited in the month of January as per the details provided. So this is sales made by Supernova India Limited. That also one MCQ is there. 6 lakhs worth of goods to X Limited, a customer located in the state of Rajasthan. Where is Supernova India located? Supernova India is located in Gujarat, and they are making sale to a person in Rajasthan, means that will be interstate. And again 8 lakh worth of goods to Y Limited, a customer located in the state of Gujarat, means that will be intrastate. Why is this relevant? Because in MCQ2 if you see, so what shall be the gross IGST liability like that they have asked, means only IGST liability, not CGST, SGST liability. Then there is no opening stock and closing stock for the month of January with Supernova India Limited. Further, an employee of Supernova India Limited has visited. So related to that also one MCQ is there. Manufacturing unit of Alpha Limited Maharashtra and has stayed in the hotel located in Mumbai, Maharashtra in the month of February. So this data is related to February. At the time of checkout from the hotel, the invoice was issued for an amount equivalent to 1 lakh. So basically in case of hotel accommodation, we all know that section 12, location of immobile property will be taken as a place of supply. So where is the hotel that is located? Hotel is located in Mumbai, Maharashtra. So place of supply also Mumbai, Maharashtra. It's a intrastate supply, CGST and SGST. But where Supernova India is located, just now we saw Gujarat. So when it is in Gujarat, whether the CGST, SGST paid in Maharashtra can be taken as credit? No, it cannot be taken as credit. So, and that we don't have to read other information, and moreover this is not related to January, this is related to February only, and but related to this one MCQ is there, that is this: whether input tax credit is available on GST paid by Supernova India Limited on the invoice amounting to 1 lakh to hotel located in Mumbai, Maharashtra. ITC not available. Input tax credit not available. Why not available? Because CGST and SGST paid in another state cannot be availed as ITC. So what I request you is that you just take one white paper and these key points alone, like see now just now we read one very important point. What is that? CGST, SGST paid in another state cannot be availed as ITC. Just one line you just write down and keep, so that all these key points when you are writing and keeping so that even mighty 50 questions or some other questions when you are solving, so this will be helpful. Because day after tomorrow, so just somewhere like 10 to 12, when you have completed everything, just this sheet you see and go, so that you will feel like, okay, I have discussed, like I have learnt all these things like that. Okay, so this is one point. Next, so this MCQ we have completed. And then Fun Events, an event management company located and registered in New Delhi, has organized a cultural event in the month of February. Again, this data is pertaining to February, but for first MCQ and second MCQ, only January data is required. So this is not going to have any impact for that first question, first or second question. Fun Limited, an event management company, where is it located? New Delhi, has organized a cultural event in the month of February for Supernova India Limited in Mauritius. There is one MCQ related to place of supply. What will be the place of supply? This is organizing an event. Organizing an event, section 12. For section 12, B2B, location of recipient, it is B2B because Supernova is registered in Gujarat. So B2B, location of recipient should be taken. Even if the event is held in Mauritius, it is irrelevant. Location of recipient only will be taken. So organizing an event, B2B, location of recipient, that is Gujarat, should be taken. GST is applicable and the place of supply will be Gujarat. Okay, that is the answer for this. Next one. So the opening balance of ITs of both Alpha Limited as well as Supernova Limited is nil. No other inward and outward supply is there, and all other conditions necessary for availment of ITs is fulfilled. All transactions are exclusive of GST. And see this, intrastate supply rate of GST is also given. So now based on this we can do the computation. So 2 MCQs over, first 2 MCQs only that we need to do. And first we will take this Supernova India Limited, because for that we need to do just the gross IGST liability. Okay, so see the first one. What happens is that they are making interstate sales of 6 lakhs. So that interstate sales of 6 lakhs we need to take, and thereafter Supernova India Limited, this is the hidden adjustment. Supernova India Limited, so in first paragraph they gave, for this reason, whenever they are making the sales, they pay 20% of the sales to Supernova LLC for the purpose as commission. So when they pay, that is an import of service. Import of service also IGST. Import of service also IGST. They did not ask output liability like that. They just asked gross IGST liability without adjustment. So that is also IGST liability only on import of services. So first on goods, only interstate goods you take 6 lakhs worth of goods, and 6 lakhs into 18%, 1 lakh 8,000 on import of services. So what is that? So how much sales they are making? Now while taking sales, take total sales, because for total sales they pay 20%. Nah? So take the total sales. What is the total sales they made? 6 lakhs and 8 lakhs. 14 lakhs is the total sales. Out of that 14 lakhs, 20% they pay. On that 18%, GST liability will arise. So 50,400. So 1,58,400 will be their liability. This is with respect to Supernova India Limited. Next, when it comes to Alpha Limited. Now when it comes to Alpha Limited, clearly it is given what is outward supply. 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs, 2 lakhs and 12,000. So 12 lakh 12,000 will be their outward supply turnover. So 12 lakh 12,000 into GST rate 18%, 2 lakh 18,160. Very simple. This is their outward supply. Now what is their inward supply? Alpha Limited. Alpha Limited is just purchasing the goods. They are importing the goods. On import 10 lakhs, okay, and 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs locally. So 10 plus 2, 12 lakhs. 12 lakhs into 18%. 12 lakhs into 18%. So that will be 2,16,000. So 2,160 is only liability. No other transaction is there for them. Just they are importing the goods and locally purchasing the goods, and they are selling the goods, Alpha Limited. So due to that reason, and when they are importing the goods, why are we not computing basic customs duty and then calculating IGST? Because clearly that is given in the question itself, that the rate of basic customs duty on import of goods is nil. So that's the reason we are not taking anything, and just the IGST is computed. So 2,160 will be taken as the answer for this. Okay, and this is about this particular question. And next one, case scenario number 2. Case scenario number 2, this Doodle Incorporation. Okay, so 1 second. Case scenario 2, Doodle Incorporation is an entity incorporated in USA. So they have given some information related to that. I just gave you here. So Doodle Incorporation is basically an entity which is in USA. They have a subsidiary company, Doodle India, in Karnataka, and they both are related. Now Doodle Incorporation will be providing services to the customers in India, that's OIDR services. Sometimes when the customers are having some issues, okay, so in that case what they will do, they will be raising the complaints to Doodle India Limited, and the Doodle India Limited will take care of the customer service complaint, and they will be billing it to Doodle Incorporation USA. So basically they are providing services to USA, and that is export of services. So that information is basically given here, and usually what happens is that whatever may be the cost that they incur plus 10% they will recover for the purpose of this customer complaints, and even they do marketing also for Doodle Incorporation. So whatever is their cost plus 20% they will be recovering from them. Okay, then Doodle Incorporation owns online space for advertisement on internet. They have agreed to sell such online advertising space to Doodle Incorporation for an amount of 5 lakh per month. And Doodle India, this is inward supply of Doodle India. They are purchasing, they are receiving. Then Doodle Incorporation provides technology support also to Doodle India, for which they pay 25 lakh per month. This is 5 crore per month, this is 25 lakh per month. And next one, in addition to above, they have given some data, and very important point is that exports made by Doodle India, if any, are through furnishing of LUT without payment of IGST. Usually also we take that assumption, but here it is clearly mentioned it is export of services without payment of IGST under bond or LUT. Okay, so because what happens, Doodle India is providing services to Doodle Incorporation. In that case, there is no GST liability. Now, let's try to understand what are the questions that we have. What shall be the output tax liability without any adjustment of input tax credit, if any, by Doodle India for the month of January? So, output tax liability computation, please select the correct statement specifically in relation to sale of online advertisement space provided by Doodle Incorporation to Doodle India. That is one question related to import of services. What shall be the amount of GST payable by Doodle Incorporation for the month of January? For the month of January, they have given some liability for the company Doodle Incorporation outside India. What shall be the total input tax credit availed by Doodle India from the transaction undertaken in the month of January? So related to these two entities, liability is only being tested here. Now, so let's start with the first one. So Doodle India, what is their output tax liability without adjustment of input tax credit? So what is it they are doing? First, they are, all this is the data basically, but their outward supply we need, that is given here. Doodle India has incurred the following expenses. Whatever expenses plus 10% plus 20% they are going to recover, but there is no GST on that. Why? Because it's export of services, supplier in India, recipient outside India, place of supply also outside India. Because what services they are providing? They are basically providing customer complaint, means service center services and promotion and marketing. So location of recipient will be taken as place of supply. Consequently, it is export of services without payment of IGST. So there is no GST liability on that. Then Doodle India earned an income of 8 crores from sale of online advertising space in India. So on that they need to pay GST, and this is earned by Doodle Incorporation, not by Doodle India. So just the 8 crore is only their liability, and on that, and on inward supply there is no RCM also. Okay, and moreover they asked what shall be the output tax liability. About RCM, import of services, etc. they are not asking. They are just restricting it to output. Please read the question carefully in exams. Okay, output means only outward supply. You should not take the inward supply under RCM. Okay, if they ask gross IGST or gross liability, then even RCM liability we need to add. Yes, they are importing services, but when they are importing services, why that will not be added here? Because clearly it is given as output tax liability. For that reason, only one outward supply they have, that is 8 crores into 18%, 1 crore 44 lakhs. So that will be taken as the answer. Then next one, so in relation to sale of online advertisement space by Doodle Incorporation. Online advertisement space means it's a OIDR services. Import of OIDR services by other than non-taxable online recipient will be covered under RCM. So therefore Doodle Incorporation is providing OIDR services, and the tax on same is paid by Doodle India on reverse charge basis. Yes, but why we did not take this? Already I told you, only output tax liability we are computing now. What shall be the amount of GST payable by Doodle Incorporation for the month of January? For the month of January, first we will see what is the Doodle Incorporation is getting. Doodle Incorporation earned an income of 10 crores from non-taxable online recipients from cloud-based services. In case of import of OIDR services by non-taxable online recipient, the liability to pay GST is on supplier outside India. So that is Doodle Incorporation should pay on this 10 crores. Okay, and on this 10 crores, the rate of GST will be 18%, and we don't have any other transaction for them to pay. But what about services provided by them to their subsidiary company? The subsidiary company only will pay GST under RCM because they are not NTOR, they are other than NTOR. So 10 lakhs into 18%, 1,80,000 will be taken as the answer. Next, last question. What shall be the total input tax credit that can be available by Doodle India from the transactions? They have two inward supplies, only two inward supplies. What is that? First, they are receiving some cloud services, okay, online advertisement like that, 5 crore per month. So 5 crore and 25 lakhs, 5 crore 25 lakhs, okay, that is import on which they need to pay GST under RCM. That can be taken as ITC. So 5 crore 25 lakhs into 18%, 94 lakh 50. Hold on, they are incurring some expenses. They are incurring some expenses. On this expense also they can take ITC. So 75 lakhs and 50 lakhs. They are incurring expense, on that also they can take ITC. So 75 plus 50, 125 lakhs into 18%, 22 lakh 50,000, that is local. So total 1 crore 17 lakhs will be taken as their ITC. Okay. So these are two questions, and the next one. So I cannot discuss all the questions, of course, but some questions I have given. I know that, I am wasting your time. If you think it's okay, you can leave and you can prepare other things. If you feel like, no sir, this is useful, you can just listen to this. Okay. Then say this case scenario number 12, Sudarshan Transport Agency question, and here they have given lot of transactions, and below that, if you see the first question, determine the value of outward supplies made by STAL which are exempt from GST. So what are all exempt from GST? That is one question. And next one, determine the place of supply of service of transportation of household goods of Mr. Champak provided by STL. One place of supply question is there. Calculate the aggregate turnover of STAL. Determine the period of validity of e-way bill generated, and whether tax is required to be deducted under section 51. There is one TDS related question. So say this, basically they are a transport company and they issues a consignment note, means no doubt they are GTA. So Sudarshan Transport Agency Private Limited, all the sectors of industries it maintains, trucks, etc. and all they have given, basically they are GTA. It has provided the following details for the current financial year. They rendered transportation service to farmers in Rajasthan for transportation of agricultural produce. GTA, transportation of agricultural produce is exempted. Then STL gave buses on rent to ABC Travels, who provided service of transport of students, faculty and staff to a school. So renting of motor vehicle to a person who in turn provides transportation service to an education institution up to 12th standard or equivalent is exempted. Okay. And next, STL has also entered into contract with local authority in Rajasthan to provide services by way of transportation of relief material to flood affected victims, for which 2,50,000 is charged. So transportation, GTA again, notified goods, relief materials for natural man-made disaster, that is also exempted. Then Money Bank, registered in Bhubaneswar, Orissa, sent its branch manager Mr. Champak on 1-year deputation on a special project to Bhopal, and Mr. Champak's family is stationed in Kanpur. Money Banks entered into contract with STAL for transportation of household goods. For GTA, transportation of household goods, we don't have any exemption, but we have one more exemption. If the recipient is unregistered individual, then it will be exempted, because we have one point, GTA providing services to unregistered individual or HUF or AJP or a trust which is not having factory, then the GTA service is exempted. Won't that come here? No, because the contract is entered with bank. The contract is not entered with Champak. The contract is entered with bank, means the recipient is not individual. So due to that reason, it will not be exempted and it will be taxable. Then STL transported defense equipments. So defense and military equipments is exempted, and STL provides service of transportation of goods to a cooperative society in Rajasthan, which was newly constituted and hence was not registered under GST law, and amount charged was 3 lakhs. So for cooperative society, we don't have any exemption. The exemption is only for individual, HUF, trust or like AJP, but not for cooperative society. Cooperative society, so definitely that will be taxable. We don't have any exemption. While transporting the goods of the said cooperative society, STL generated e-way bill on Monday. The goods were transported for a distance of 220 kilometers. Then STL owns and maintains its own petrol pump in Rajasthan, wherein the revenue from supply of petrol was 20 lakhs. That is non-taxable. Sale of petrol, we have now petrol, diesel. So 5 petroleum products: crude oil, petrol, diesel, aviation turbine fuel and natural gas. These are exempt, non-taxable. Non-taxable means it will come under exemption. So now the first MCQ, what are exempted? If you see this 2 lakhs and like 5 lakhs, then 2 lakh 50, 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 2 lakh 50, and thereafter 5 lakh 50 and last 20 lakhs. So that will be 35 lakhs. So that will be taken as the answer. determine the place of supply. So for this services, transportation services, B2B or B2C, generally for section 12, transportation of goods, transportation of passengers, so B2B, location of recipient only will be taken. So accordingly here it is registered because they are providing service to Money Bank. So B2B, location of recipient, Bhubaneswar, Orissa will be taken as the place of supply. One more, that e-way bill question also we will complete. So because here we have 220 kilometers and it is not given as over dimensional cargo. For over dimensional cargo or multi-mode transportation where at least one leg of the journey is by waterways, then it will be 1 day for every 20 kilometers or part thereof. In all other cases, it will be 1 day for every 200 kilometers or part thereof. 220 kilometers means 2 days will be taken as the validity of the e-way bill. And when we take 2 days, so when the e-way bill is generated Monday 12 AM means morning. So during the day, any time if the e-way bill is generated, the validity will be counted from the midnight of that day to midnight of next day as 1 day. So Monday midnight to Tuesday midnight 1 day, Tuesday midnight to Wednesday midnight 2nd day. So accordingly Wednesday midnight means Thursday early morning. So therefore the correct option will be Wednesday midnight and Thursday morning, early morning. So therefore option B is the correct answer. Then next one, they have given one more question. What is the aggregate turnover? Already we know exempted turnover 35 lakhs. Now taxable turnover also you add. What is the taxable turnover? 1,50,000 and 3 lakhs. Okay, there is nothing else. 1,50,000 and 3 lakhs. So 35 lakhs plus 1,50,000 and 3 lakhs, 39,50,000 will be taken as the aggregate turnover. Next, whether tax is required to be deducted under 51. So for the services like provided to local authority of Rajasthan, local authority of Rajasthan is this third point. Value is 2,50,000. Generally, TDS will be applicable under section 51 of CGST Act if the total value of supply under the contract exceeds 2,50,000. In this case, the total value of supply under the contract is exactly 2,50,000. So TDS is not applicable in this case. So the answer is no. And moreover, it is what service? It is exempted service. So actually 2,50,000 also one point is there and exempted also one point is there. But which option is correct? Primarily, if it is exempted, we will not check the value of contract. Na? If the value of taxable supply under the contract, because both reasons TDS not applicable, because they have given both the options. They have given both the options. Value of contract not does not exceed 2,50,000 since it is an exempted supply. But which is more perfect? So that's what it is not. The answer is not like appropriate answer versus correct answer. That's how the debate will be. In MCQs, appropriate answer versus correct answer. That is where students are getting confused. So here if you see appropriate answer, A is also correct only and D is also correct, but which is more accurate or which is the correct answer? See, 2,50,000 will come into picture only when it is taxable. When it is not at all taxable, the 2,50,000 will not come now. So that's why A, that is the this D, since it is an exempted supply, so that's the reason why TDS is not applicable. So this is one point which you have learned today. Next, so that is about this case scenario 12, and now we are moving on to the next one. So 3 things we have completed, 3 questions. Yes, see this case scenario number 16. Galgotia Travels is established on 3rd April in the city of Bengaluru, and primary objective of the company, basically it is a company, is to provide. So there is one question. Yes. Sir, if time permits, can you please discuss the independent MCQ given in ICA? They will not ask, boss. Independent MCQs which is there in Board of Studies will not be tested, because I will tell you how your question paper will be. There will be minimum to minimum 3 case scenarios, and 3 case scenarios they will be asking. In the 3 case scenarios, easily somewhere like 4 questions. 4 questions will be there in one case scenario. So 4 into 2, like 4 into 3, 12, 12 into 2, 24. Usually it will be case scenarios only. Rarely there will be like single MCQs. Those single MCQs will be very, very easy. That and all you don't have to bother, because if you learn this, automatically that single MCQ, rarely you will get, like one MCQ from GST and 2 or 3 MCQs from customs, because basically customs, they need to ask only for 4 marks in MCQs, and remaining 4 into 4, 16 marks will be in descriptive paper. So 2 MCQs in customs and 1 MCQ in GST, that is where the 6 marks will be. 24 marks will be from case scenarios. Trust me, because I have seen the previous MCQ paper. That's the reason why don't break your head in that independent MCQs that will not come, and what's the point in learning that? This will become important. So you read this. If time permits, you solve these questions rather than going for that. Okay. Then next, in A option, they mention since value of supply is not less than 2,50,000, but the TDS applicable only if it is less than or equals to, correct. So I'm just telling you, even if they mention it as less than or equals to 2,50,000, but that option is not correct option. Okay. So for example, I told you here. Okay. So of course, there it is clearly mentioned as less than, but less than or equals to, if it is given also, we will not select that option. We will be selecting only option D. Then, okay, coming back to this, Galgotia Travels Limited is established on 3rd April in the city of Bengaluru, and the primary objective of the company is to provide air-conditioned contract-based passenger transportation services at an affordable fares. So we need to understand 9 subsection 5 here. Transportation of passengers by a company in omnibus is not covered under 9.5. And what is omnibus? Capacity exceeds 13 or equals to 13, exceed 13, exceed 13. Why I am telling you this? Because see here, on 1st July, the company purchased motor vehicles omnibus of various seating capacities as follows. Basically, that 9.5 case omnibus definition per se says greater than 13. But here, everything is up to 13, including driver. That's the reason why, first of all, it is not that omnibus. So it's a trap which they have laid down so that you will think that, it is a omnibus point that 9.5 will be coming here. So no, that is like supplier will not be paying GST. If it is through e-commerce operator only will pay GST in this case. Okay. Then one more point here, actually this information is given for the purpose of identifying blocked credit. So see the MCQs, amount of blocked ITC in respect of motor vehicles purchased on 1st July. So they have given some, these are the purchase for 1st July. What is a blocked credit? That's the question. Next one, amount of GST payable through electronic cash ledger by GTL, electronic cash ledger by GTL on the services supplied by it through POCO Limited during the month of July, ignoring the provisions of Rule 86B. How much is their GST liability? So POCO is one e-commerce operator. Then amount of TCS, so by POCO Limited on the taxable supplies made through it during the month of July, August and September. Then there is one question related to place of supply and time of supply. Okay, these are the MCQs. Now we will see this. In this itself directly we can arrive. They have given about ITC component. So they have purchased these motor vehicles. Now all these motor vehicles capacity including driver does not exceed 13. And we have a blocked credit point. What does it say? Motor vehicles capacity does not exceed 13 is a blocked credit, but it comes under the exception. What is that? They are used in the business of transportation of passengers. As they are used it in the business of transportation of passengers, ITC is available and there is no blocked credit. Fully ITC is available with respect to this. Okay. So here how many vehicles they are purchasing? 4 vehicles. 4 vehicles they are purchasing at the rate of 10 lakhs and into 18%. So that will come to 7,20,000 and ITC can be taken, and next even in this case 12 lakhs into, so 3 vehicles into 18%, so that will come to 6,48,000, then 14 lakhs into 2 vehicles into 18%, that will be 5,04,000, and this 15 lakhs into 18%, that will be 2,70,000, and this first 3 will be CGST, SGST. First 3 will be CGST, SGST, last will be IGST. Okay, so first 3 alone total, because this will be useful for ITC computation. 7,20,000, 7,20,000 plus 6,48,000 plus 5,04,000, that will be 18,72,000. That 18,72,000 divided by 2, 9,36,000 and 9,36,000 will be the ITC on this motor vehicles purchased. Okay, 9,36,000 and 9,36,000 with respect to CGST, SGST, and this is IGST. So is there any blocked credit here? No. So the answer will be nil. So amount of block credit in respect of motor vehicle purchased by GTL on 1st July will be nil. So CGST nil, SGST nil, and IGST also will be nil. Then amount of GST payable through electronic cash ledger. So we will continue the question further. For the month of from the month of July, GTL associated with POCO Limited to enhance the business operations. POCO Limited owns, operates an electronic platform, means they are an e-commerce operator for supply of passenger transportation service in Bengaluru. The company developed an application. So basically, by reading this paragraph, you will know that they are an e-commerce operator. The details of few bookings of GTL in the month of July are as follows. These bookings are obtained by GTL on its own account and not through POCO Limited. On its own account, they have obtained. So they have given various orders, and there is one MCQ related to place of supply. So this is basically transportation of passengers. Transportation of passengers, section 12, because everyone is in India. So section 12, B2B will be location of recipient, B2C will be starting point of the passenger, correct? So here first one, if you see B2B, first one is B2B, so location of recipient, residence of customer, Bengaluru will be taken. Then first one is B2B, second one is B2C, starting point Bengaluru, and next one again B2B, so location of recipient Hyderabad, and next, so here B2C, starting point, that is Hyderabad, again B2B, so we will take location of recipient, and B2C, starting point, that is Chennai. And not every transaction they are asking place of supply. So place of supply for 435, 534, 987. So 435, 534 and 987, these 3 cases only, that is Bengaluru, Hyderabad and Hyderabad, will be the correct option. Bengaluru, Hyderabad and Hyderabad, option A is the correct answer. This is the information in the table. Then in all the above cases, journey is a single day journey and the invoice is issued electronically on the date of travel immediately after completion of the journey. Immediately it has been given. So due to that reason, date of invoice will be the same day of travel. Date of travel itself will be the date of invoice. So this will be the date of invoice. Why this is relevant? Because there is a MCQ related to time of supply also. Here this is services under FCM only. So section 13 subsection 2, if the invoice is issued within 30 days from the date of completion, yes, date of travel immediately it is given, so invoice date or payment date, whichever is earlier. So therefore here 5th July or 3rd July, whichever is earlier, the time of supply will be so 3rd July. And again here 11th July or 9th July, it will be 9th July. And 16th July or 14th July, it will be 14th July. And again here, so 19th July or 17th July, 17th July, 22nd or 20th July, and 25th or 23rd July. Because there is one MCQ related to this, what is the time of supply? For the order number 234-777-001. Okay, so 234, this one, 234, it is 3rd July, and 777, it is 20th July, 001, 23rd July. Okay, so 3rd July, 20th July, 23rd July. Okay, so option C will be taken as the answer for this. Now everything is over. Now we need to compute only 2 MCQs. The details of passenger transportation service supplied by GTL through POCO. This first one is direct, this is through POCO. And GST liability on supply is as follows. So value of services this much, on that TCS will be applicable or not? Yes. In case of transportation of passengers through e-commerce operator, liability to pay GST is on e-commerce operator or is on the supplier? Basically, the liability to pay GST is on supplier if it is company and through omnibus. But sir, here all these vehicles capacity is does not exceed 13, then how will it come under that? See, that is where they have purchased these, but it does not mean these are all the vehicles through which only they provide. They are providing services through omnibus is the point that is given. Carefully listen. These are all the vehicles which they have purchased, but it does not mean only in these vehicles they are providing the transportation, because they are basically providing the transportation of passengers through e-commerce operator. Okay, so therefore we will take the, here you see, net GST payable for the services supplied by it through POCO Limited during the month of July. So for the month of July, what is their liability? 9 lakhs, 9 lakhs and 4 lakhs. Already we computed the ITC. What is that ITC? 9 lakh 36, 9 lakh 36. So fully we can adjust 9 lakh, 9 lakhs. And from 4 lakhs, IGST liability. So 4 lakhs minus 2 lakh 70,000 minus 36,000 because CGST extra credit minus 36,000 SGST extra credit. So 58,000. So the answer will be nil, nil and IGST 58,000 will be taken in this case. Okay. Next. So here next one what we have is TCS. So what is the TCS that will be deducted? Tax to be collected at source. Ignore bifurcation under CGST, SGST, IGST by POCO Limited on the taxable supplies made through it. Again I am repeating, actually why are we taking it as omnibus point? Because it is given clearly as omnibus, that's why we go by that. But these vehicles which are purchased may not be omnibus. That is not necessary that they are providing the transportation through these vehicles only. So whenever a company is providing transportation of passengers through omnibus, the liability to pay GST is on company and e-commerce operator will deduct only the TCS on the value. So what is the value of supply here? 1 crore 30 into 0.5%, 0.5% and 0.5%, because now the TCS rate has been reduced now. So you just do the calculation. 1 crore 30 lakhs. 1 crore 30 lakhs into 0.5%, that comes to 65,000. So 65,000, 62,500 and 70,000. Option A will be taken as the answer. So this is that. Next. Yes. Okay. Next question. Yes, here we have question number 20. This question number 20 is related to one study material question only. It is Starcart Limited. Starcart Limited owns and operates a web portal in the name of Starcart. Basically, they are a website registered with the jurisdictional GST authorities in Delhi as e-commerce operator and is liable to collect TCS. And they provide listing services to various sellers selling goods to the ultimate customers. They also sell own products through their own portal. And for listing services, so whenever they sell the products belonging to others, they get a commission. So that is 10%. For the listing services provided to sellers, Starcart charges a listing fee at the rate of 10% of turnover of the goods sold by seller in a particular month. Such listing fees is recovered from the seller irrespective of any return of the goods sold through Starcart. The customers can choose wide range of goods listed on the web portal and place an online order for the goods. Okay, so basically 10% is what they will be getting. The payment is made by the customer through the payment gateway, means the payment is collected by e-commerce operator. So TCS is applicable. That's what here it is. The invoice for the goods sold on Starcart is issued by seller in the name of customer, and the tax is also collected in case of return. This is sales return point. In case of sales return, they get 20% of the value of goods as cancellation charges, and even 10% they collect also for the purpose of handling charges. In the month of January, Pulkit, a resident of Rajasthan, purchased the following goods. They have given, and now what is the question? What is the net tax liability including the amount collected as TCS of Starcart Limited? So see here, first one, they are selling laptop having a value of 50,000 and printer having a value of 10,000, 60,000. Both products are sold by Infocom Limited, a seller registered on Star Card and registered under GST in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Now in this case, what is the liability on Star Card? On Star Card they get only the listing fees, so that is 60,000 rupees is there now, and there is everything is IGST, there is no CGST, SGST, because if you see here the location of Star Card is located in Delhi, and basically they are collecting this listing fees from Infocom Limited in Uttar Pradesh. So therefore interstate supply, so everything is IGST here only. So 60,000 rupees should be taken. On that 60,000 they get 10%, okay, so as the listing fees. On that the rate of GST, what is the rate of GST that is given? 18%. So 18% is the GST. So 60,000 into 10% into 18%, that will be 1080. Then next transaction, mobile phone having a value of 30,000 sold by Star Card in its own capacity, own sales. So 30,000, and all the rate GST is 18% only given. So 30,000 rupees worth of mobile they are selling, and the rate of GST 18% in this case. So 30,000 into 18%, again it is interstate only to its own capacity, in its own capacity, and here 5,400 should be taken. Next one, they have CCTV camera. How it is interstate? Simple, they are selling it to Pulkit, Rajasthan. So they are only selling. So where are they located? Delhi and ending point Rajasthan, interstate supply. CCTV camera system having a value of 1 lakh sold by Secure World, listed on Star Card and registered under GST in the state of Gujarat. So 1 lakh rupees worth of CCTV camera they are selling. So again they get a listing fees in this case. So 1 lakh into 10% into 18%, okay. So 1 lakh into 10%, 10,000 into 18%, that is 1,800. Now this is only liability, including the amount collected as TCS. So what is the TCS? First case and second case only there will be TCS, okay. So there will be TCS in these two cases only, because they are selling the goods belonging to other person. So what is the TCS that they will be getting? 60,000 rupees into 0.5%, and what is that? 60,000 into 0.5% comes to 300, and 1 lakh into 0.5%, that comes to 500, okay. So now do the total of this, 1,080 plus 5,400 plus 1,800 plus 300 plus 500, so that comes to 9,080. So 9,080 IGST, that will be taken as the answer, okay. 9,080 will be taken as the answer for this. Then the net GST payable in cash after set off of credit, if any, of Infocom Limited and Secure World. So Infocom Limited will pay GST on 60,000 na. So first 60,000 they will pay GST at the rate of 18%. So 60,000 into 18% comes to 10,800. But whatever listing fees that they deducted, so on that listing fees GST can be taken as ITC. So accordingly they will get the ITC. How much ITC? This 1,080 can be taken as ITC, and also this TCS deducted by the e-commerce operator can also be taken, because they use the word after set off of credits. They did not tell input tax credit, means it can be TCS credit also. So accordingly this 300 also you reduce. So then you will get one answer, 10,800 minus 1,080 minus 300. So that will come to 9,420. So option C. Now other one you don't have to select, because only one option is given. 9,420 is the answer, okay. 9,420. Next one. Assuming that Pulkit returns the printer purchased from Infocom Limited in the month of January, okay, as per the return policy, Star Card charges 20% of the value of printer as cancellation charges from Pulkit, and 10% of the value of printer as handling charges from Infocom Limited, okay. So Pulkit returns printer purchased from Infocom as per the return policy, and they charges 30% literally, okay. Now what is the value of the printer? The value of the printer is only 10,000 rupees. Now let's see what will happen. This liability will not change. This liability will not change. That 60,000 into 10% they get listing fees na. So on that 18%, so that is 1,080 which we calculated will be same, and the mobile 30,000 into 18%. 30,000 into 18%, 5,400 also will not change. And then 1 lakh. 1 lakh into, so 10% into 18%, 1,800 also will not change. Now extra 10,000 rupees they get, on that 30% they will be getting, on that 18% they need to pay 20 and 10. Okay, so 10,000 rupees into 30% into 18% on that, that is 540. Now TCS, if you see, first case, the 10,000 rupees is returned na, as it is returned in the same month. Basically it is in the same month, in the month of January itself it is returned. So which means while computing TCS will be only for 50,000. So 50,000, because while computing TCS we need to reduce the sales returns. So TCS will be 250, and another TCS will be normal 1 lakh. 1 lakh into 0.5%, that will be 500. So if you see the answer, 1080 plus 5400 plus 1800 plus 540 plus 250 plus 500, so that comes to 9,570. So option C, 9,570 will be taken as the answer. Hope you got the clarity about it. Now these are the 3 questions that is given, and maybe they can give other questions also, but this is the TCS related point. Next, yes, case scenario number 27. This is related to, this PSF, passenger service fee and user development fee related question. So see this, Zoom Air is an airline company operating domestic as well as international flights. The head office of the Zoom Air is in Mumbai, and the company has also obtained registration under GST in each of the states from where the flight operations are being conducted. During the month of January, following transactions were undertaken by it. Zoom Air sold air tickets worth rupees 5 lakhs during the month from its head office, and the breakup of the airfare is as follows. So basic fare excluding GST 4 lakhs, and this 4 lakhs will be taken, but passenger service fee and user development fee, when they are collecting and remitting to the Airport Authority of India, they are acting as a pure agent as per CBIC circular. Accordingly, this 1 lakh should not be included in the value. Okay, then, but for doing this collection and remittance, they will be getting some collection charges. So PSF and UDF remitted, so they get a 5% of this as collection charges. So how much they collected? 1 lakh they collected na, 1 lakh into 5%, so they will get 5,000 rupees. Okay, then, so this is about the January month, their transactions. Next, Zoom Air head office, so they have given furthermore transactions also, but basically the question is what all the MCQs we have? The gross GST liability of Mumbai head office of Zoom Air for the month of January. Then determine all kinds of credits to Mumbai head office of Zoom Air for January. Then again, first one is gross liability, second one is ITC. And next, assuming that the customers in point 1 of the case scenario above are registered customers, and what will be the ITC available? ITC available to the customers, and choose the most appropriate option in relation to transaction between Haryana office and Amazing Private Limited. Then there is one more related to this TCS, etc. and all they have given. Okay, now, so continuing further, here Zoom Air head office has collaborated with Supertrip India, an online travel portal. Now tell me whether transportation of passengers by way of airlines through e-commerce operator, will it attract 9 subsection 5? No. Generally transportation of passengers through any motor vehicle is coming under 9(5). But motor vehicle does not include airlines or railways. So due to that reason, it will not come under 9 subsection 5. So the liability to pay GST is only on supplier. Okay. So Zoom Air head office has collaborated with Supertrip India, an online travel portal providing service to the customer by way of booking air tickets through its e-commerce platform, and registered under GST in the state of Maharashtra. During the month, Supertrip India booked tickets for rupees 2 lakhs, base fare excluding GST, PSF and UDF for the customers. Again, this 2 lakhs will be chargeable to GST. This 2 lakhs will be chargeable to GST in the hands of Zoom Air only, and the amount was remitted by Supertrip India to Zoom Air after adjusting the amount of TCS under section 52. Furthermore, TCS is given, which means 9 subsection 5 is not applicable. In addition to the aforesaid amount, Supertrip India charged a commission at the rate of 5% of the base fare. So that is a commission, means it's an inward supply to Zoomer. Supertrip, whatever commission they are getting, that will be inward supply. So what is the value of inward supply? What is the value of inward supply? So 2 lakhs into 5%. So the value of inward supply will be 10,000. Okay. And this 2 lakhs is base fare excluding GST, PSF and UDF. So therefore again we don't have to reduce anything out of this. This 2 lakhs itself will be taken as the value. So first 4 lakhs and thereafter 5,000. Thereafter this 2 lakhs. Then Zoomer head office charged 100% cancellation fee from the customer for booking made in prior months. The amount of cancellation fee charged was 1 lakh inclusive of GST. Instead of actually collecting the cancellation fee, what they are doing, you know, such amount was adjusted against the booking amount and GST discharged at the time of initial bookings, means cancellation charges is adjusted from the booking, which means that they are not collecting anything extra from the customer. Customer already paid, no. So that itself gets adjusted, means they are not refunding anything to the customer. So however, the PSF and UDF amounting to 10,000 charged from the customers were only refunded. Whatever this PSF and UDF which they are collecting from the customer, that they are refunding, but not the entire amount. And anyhow, while computing the value, this value of 4 lakhs, this 1 lakh is already included and we paid GST. So simply ignore this transaction. Why to ignore this transaction? Boss, they are not refunding anything. If they refund, they will give credit note. But they are refunding 10,000 na. First of all, this 10,000 is not part of value. So for this 10,000, credit note cannot be issued by them. Okay. Then Zoomer head office provided gifts in the form of air tickets to 10 of its employees based at its head office for an amount equivalent to 60,000 rupees. As the value of the gift exceeds 50,000 rupees per annum per employee, no amount was recovered from the employees for such air tickets, but it will become supply. So therefore, we need to take 10 air tickets into 60,000 rupees. So therefore, we need to take 6 lakhs as the value. Okay. Then Zoomer has a corporate tie-up with Welcome Hotel located in Rajasthan for stay of its crew members. For January, the hotel issued, this is an inward supply, 5 lakhs in the name of Zoomer, head office Mumbai. Okay. And the hotel is in Rajasthan. Naturally, ITC cannot be taken by Zoomer. Haryana office of Zoomer has provided. So all this data so far is head office. Now this data is related to Haryana office, but in the first question there is only Mumbai office related question. Mumbai office of Zoomer for the month of January. Now if you see here, for Mumbai office data we will compute 4 lakhs. First 4 lakhs into 18%. So 4 lakhs and the rate of GST is 18% only na? Yes, 18%. So 4 lakhs into 18%, that will be 72,000, and again so 5,000 into 18%, so that will be 900, 72,000 and 900. And next we have even this 2 lakhs they are getting na. So on the 2 lakhs into 18%, 2 lakhs into 18%, 36,000, then 36,000 plus 900 plus 72,000. So far 1,08,900. Then cancellation that we need to ignore, and this 6 lakhs into 18%. 6 lakhs into 18%, that is 1,08,000. Okay. So see these numbers here. First 72,000, then 900. Then 36,000, 1,08,000 total. So 2,16,900. So 2,16,900 will be taken as the answer for this. 2,16,900. Determine all kinds of credits available to Mumbai head office of Zoomer for setting off against its GST liability in the month of January. First of all, this hotel accommodation, they cannot take ITC because the place of supply is Rajasthan, and basically Zoomer is located in some other place. Okay, where is their head office located? The head office is located in Mumbai. The head office is in Mumbai, so they cannot take ITC. However, with respect to, this super trip is charging na commission, that will become inward supply. So this 10,000 rupees will become inward supply. On the 10,000, whatever GST that is paid 18%, so 1,800 can be taken. So you can see the answer here. This is first commission 10,000, so 18%, and they are asking not input tax credit, they are asking credits, all kinds of credits. They are not asking input tax credit, means even TCS credit. So who is deducting? The e-commerce operator is deducting TCS na. So 2 lakhs into 0.5%, 1,000 rupees will be deducted as TCS. So that 1,000 rupees also will be given as credit, and total 2,800. So that is the answer for this 2,800. Then assuming that the customers in point number 1 of the case scenario are registered customers, what is the ITC available? So basically, so in this case the customers are registered, so they pay 72,000 na, that 72,000 they can take as ITC. What about this user development fee, passenger service fee? Airline will pay, airport authority will pay, will raise invoice to them on that, so they can take ITC. How much? 1 lakh into 18 by 118. Why 18 by 118? Because it is inclusive of GST. So 1 lakh into 18 divided by 118, that will be 15,254. So 72,000 they can take, 15,254 also they can take. Okay, so 87,254. What about this 900? See, this 900 rupees collection charges they are paying, and they in turn raise invoice to airport authority. Airline will pay and raise invoice to airport authority. So airport authority will take ITC, but not the customer. The customer will take ITC of only these two, 72,000 and 15,274. That is 87,254 is the correct answer. Next. So all this is related to the head office and related to this one paragraph. Next one. Haryana office of Zoomer has provided services by way of sale of online advertisement space to Amazing Private Limited, a company registered in the state of Haryana, for promotion of Amazing Private Limited product. The amount charged for such service by Haryana office of Zoomer is 5 lakhs. Online advertisement means OIDR services. For OIDR services, both are in India, because who is providing? Haryana office of Zoomer is receiving service from Amazing Private Limited Haryana, means it's an intra-state supply, chargeable to CGST, SGST. So the service is in the nature of OIDR, correct, and the liability will be CGST, SGST, that will only be applicable, and Zoomer is required to pay CGST 45, SGST 45. Full credit will be allowed to Amazing Private Limited. Yes, because they have provided the services and OIDR services for business purpose, so definitely they can take ITC. So for 4, the answer is D. Okay. Next, last MCQ in this. Super Trip India purchases 1,000 air tickets in bulk for an amount of rupees 1,000 per ticket from Zoomer and made these tickets available for sale at its electronic portal to the customers on its own account. So basically, e-commerce operator point will come if supply of services through e-commerce operator, but here it is not coming like that. They are purchasing and they are selling on their own account 1,000 tickets in bulk for an amount of 1,000 rupees per ticket on its own account. Super Trip India was able to sell only 800 tickets, for which total amount collected from customer was 1,15 lakhs. As per the agreement, the remaining 200 air tickets purchased by Super Trip from Zoomer lapsed and amount was forfeited. Forfeited means they are not going to refund anything, which means what is the value of supply made by Zoomer to Super Trip? So Zoomer to Super Trip, if you see, that is from Super Trip point of view. From Super Trip point of view, outward supply, if you see, no, that outward supply will be 800 tickets. For that 800 tickets, 15 lakhs is what they are generating. 15 lakhs into 18%. So their liability 15 lakhs into 18% will be 2,70,000. But inward supply, if you see, full tickets they have to pay. So therefore 1,000 tickets into 1,000 into 18%. Okay, 1,000 tickets into 1,000 into 18%. So 1,000 tickets and each ticket will be 1,000. On that 18% will be 1,80,000 is their inward supply. And so then what will be this? 2,70,000 minus 1,80,000, 90,000 will be their liability. Okay, choose the most appropriate option. Here Super Trip India shall be liable to pay net GST of 90,000. Okay, correct. And collect TCS of 10,000. No, TCS not applicable. Why TCS not applicable? This is first of all not supply of services through e-commerce operator. Only supplies through e-commerce operator. They are doing it in their own capacity, own account. Means they are like an independent person buying and selling. So TCS will not be applicable in this case. Then what is the correct answer? Option C. Supertrip India is liable to pay net GST of 90, and Zoom Air, they are purchasing tickets, is required to pay GST of 1,80,000. So for 5, the answer is C. Okay. So that is with respect to this. So any other queries, boss? Is there? It's there in solved workbook. Okay, correct. Fine. Then the next question. Yes, one more question, that is this SR Associates. Let me drink some water, throat is paining here. And don't worry, like this case scenarios we are covering now, so it's like very important ones we are discussing. If time permits, you do other things, and so as per the plan, you just go through the amendments. Today after this, you go through the amendments, and tomorrow full day I am available. So whatever queries that you have, you just post it in the group. Tomorrow I will be fully active in Telegram. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow till the time you go for exam, I will be active in Telegram. So whatever queries, either in the group or separately, but don't post both places. Either put it in individual DM or you put it in the group, but not both. And so that I will be replying to all your queries, whatever queries that you have, immediately I will reply. And if not possible to type, I will just put a voice note also. So don't worry about that. Okay. Then, so see this last question. SR Associates is a partnership firm registered under GST in the state of Rajasthan in the month of July. The following transactions were made by SR Associates. So they purchased the commodity X on 1st July from a registered person for an amount of 5 lakhs at the rate of 1,000 rupees per ton from the open market. The said commodity was deposited into the warehouse of NCDX in Rajasthan as a security against transactions entered by SR Associates on the same day. Commodities of other vendors are also kept in the said warehouse. Okay, they are purchasing 5 lakhs. What is the questions here? Compute the taxable value of inward supply of commodity X of SR Associates. So related to the commodity X, what is their value? Then value of outward supply made by SR Associates in the month of August. Then time of supply for subscription of AI based platform. Then net GST payable by SR Associates for the month of August. So these are the questions. So first this 5 lakhs we will take because that will be the value of inward supply. In order to hedge the aforesaid transaction, on 1st July, SR Associates undertook a derivative sale transaction in future contract for a month of August at the rate of 1,100 per ton, not a supply. Why not a supply? Derivative transactions are neither goods nor services, because derivatives will come under securities which are neither goods nor services. For that reason, then SR Associates took subscription for an AI based platform, means it's an import of services basically from a company in US. To get the real time updates on the pricing of the commodity X in the international market, ABC Incorporation charged 50,000. Basically they are registered as they are registered import of OIDR services by other than non-taxable online recipient. So this is their inward supply. This is their inward supply on which they need to pay GST under RCM. They charged 50,000 for the subscription. Invoice was issued to SR Associates on 1st July, but the payment was made to ABC. There is one question related to time of supply. There we need to connect this. NCDX registered under GST charges rent from SR Associates at the rate of 10,000 per month and service charges at the rate of 20,000 per month. Again, this will be inward supply. Then on the date of expiry of future contract of the month of August, that is 31st August, the rate of commodity X was 900 per ton. SR Associates acquired off the contract for the month of August at the same rate without physical delivery. So first of all, this acquiring of the transactions, etc., that is transaction in securities. So in case of transaction in securities, it is not relevant. So we need to ignore related to this. Okay. Then NCDX charged a brokerage on the transactions, both purchase and sale, at the rate of 5,000 per contract from SR Associates. Again, it will be inward supply. On the purchase of commodity X, additional levy in the form of mandi tax was applicable at the rate of 10 per ton, which is not included in the rate per ton mentioned at point number 1 above. So basically here, mandi tax, taxes, duties and cess by whatever name called other than GST should be included in the value. So 10 rupees per ton, how many tons? So 5 lakhs divided by 1000 rupees per ton means we get 500 tons. 500 tons into 10 rupees per ton, so that will come to 5000. So therefore, what is the value of inward supply? 5,05,000 will be taken as a value of inward supply. So compute the taxable value of inward supply, 5,05,000. Option D will be taken. Okay, then compute the value of outward supply made by SR Associates in the month of August. So what is the outward supply? All amounts given above are inclusive of GST, etc. and all. And outward supply, if you see, all these are inward supplies only, and they purchase the commodity. So second question is nil. There is no outward supply, na? That is not a supply. We ignore. So literally it is nil. Nil. We don't have any transaction. That is the answer, nil. Then next, what is the time of supply for the subscription of AI based platform by SR Associates? This is import of service RCM, na? RCM means we need to take A, the date on which payment is made to supplier. What is the date on which payment is made to supplier? 20th August. And B, 61st day from the date of invoice. Date of invoice 1st July, na? 1st July, 61st day. In July 30 days, August 31 days. So therefore 31st August, whichever is earlier. So therefore it will be 20th August. So 20th August should be taken as the answer. Then compute the net GST payable in cash by SR Associates. Only inward supply under RCM. That inward supply under RCM alone they need to pay on GST. So this 50,000 rupees, 50,000 into 18%, that will be 9,000. 9,000. Why not ITC? No, first of all, when they pay GST under RCM, they don't have outward supply, so nil. Whatever GST they need to pay under RCM, so they have to pay using cash ledger, that will be net GST, even though they have ITC, but that cannot be used because they are asking what is the net GST payable. So the net GST payable will be 9,000 rupees only, no doubt in this. Okay. So these are the questions. Yes, these are the questions. I think, yes, we have completed. Only 35 questions are there, but I selected some 8 questions which are very, very important, and all those 8 questions I have discussed with you. Okay. And I discussed the important theory questions and the important case scenario MCQs if time permits. Now it is just 9:48 only. Now, you know, like 1 or 2 page 18 is missing in your list, sir. Okay, I don't know which one here. Okay, so in the list of important MCQs, fine, I selected 18. If you want to do more also, you do that, not at all a problem. Then, sir, what will be the time limit for re-importing? It is 5 plus 2. This is some confusion which everyone is having. 5 years plus 2 years, boss. It is not 3 years plus 2 years. As per ICAI, they have given 5 plus 2. So go with that only. I say study material which says 5 plus 2. You also follow 5 plus 2 only. Okay, then. So now that we have completed this and we are still having time. Now see, you're having time till 12 o'clock. You can, definitely you can. So what you do, take a break, go have some coffee, tea, ask your mom or wherever you are, have some tea, come back, quickly complete the video on amendments. There is a video uploaded in YouTube on amendments. Quickly complete that video on amendments. Thereafter, you just go through this case scenario MCQs to the extent possible. Some more questions also you try. You try at your end, some more questions also. So for today it is sufficient, enough. Okay, but I beg you, please watch the amendments. Please watch the amendments. Hardly 1 hour. Hardly 1 hour, quickly 1.5 speed. Just brush up of amendments, and the PDF is already there in the website under downloads. You just go through that, quickly glance through that, and then do the MCQs, as many MCQs as you can till the time you go to bed. And from morning tomorrow 6 o'clock sharp you need to get up and you need to do the revision 6 AM to 6 PM. And during that time if you have any doubts, don't worry, I am there. Okay, and after 6 p.m., that is somewhere like 6:30 or 7 o'clock, do the MAY'25 questions. I already uploaded the video because many students were asking. I uploaded the video, and so even RTP, MTPs, etc. And so if you have solved workbook, MAY'25 200 questions is best. If not, ICA has released lot of MTPs. You can solve those MTPs also till tomorrow 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, like that. Okay. Then next day what you need to do, I have already given the revision plan. Just do that. So RTP, actually in MAY'50 itself I included the RTP question. So you don't have to separately do RTP because it's already there in MAY'50. The important questions already included in MAY'50. Okay. So then, sir, whether in customs any case scenario? No, in customs you will not get any case scenario MCQ. It will be mostly 1 mark, that 2 mark direct MCQs only. Okay. Then case scenario annotation, what I have noted down, yes, I don't mind, I will provide it to you. This and that theory questions I will share with you. You just go to Telegram and join our channel, THARUN'S Brainery. So THARUN'S Brainery, like that one channel is there. In the channel I will upload, so you can just check from there. Okay, all the notes, whatever notes that you need, everything is there in that channel. Okay, and that's what the MTP, what I was referring is this MTPs. So if you see BOS website, they have given model test papers, like that one area, model test papers. This they have updated now. So model test papers group 2, like that they have given some good number of model test papers. You just go through this model test paper because these are updated recently. And all these questions are there in our solved workbook. All these questions are there in our solved workbook, but even then, you know, you feel like psychologically when you do it from ICA resources and all, it will be better. So if that be the case, you do that. Okay. Then anything else, any doubts that you have? If you have any doubts, you can ask. This model test papers, what they have released, they have just given for indirect tax 6 question papers. From these 6 question papers only your MTPs, recent MTPs are taken from this only. So these 6 MTPs you do. Okay. Customs case law summary PDF. Okay, I will just share that also. Don't worry. I'll just share. Today our DTP person is not there. So already it is 10 o'clock. I will be working, but why everyone will be working? Tomorrow, immediately once he comes, I'll ask him to share with you. Don't worry. Then papers are coming very hard nowadays. Yes, yeah, very, very hard. And see, I don't know whether I can say this now or not, but see, that's what from the beginning I was telling to many students. Please focus on subject. When you focus on subject, definitely, you know, you will be able to crack. But what people will do, lot of students, they will ask me, sir, in 90 hours can you take, sir? In 30 hours can you take, sir? In 1 day can you take, sir? Like that and all. When we go towards that direction, when we cut down onto the number of hours of listening to the classes, the moment you start going for revision batches, fast track batches or exam oriented batches, you have to face the heat. See, somewhere you need to balance now, like just admit that. So when we put more effort in learning the classes from the regular batch, automatically the paper will be easy. When you cut down the time there, and how you can expect the papers to be easy, definitely it is not, boss. So the culture has to change. The culture has to change, and spending more time on preparation should come. So that's where, you know, you almost killed every faculty because of you only, you guys only. So there were many faculties who were focusing on regular content, and you are not able to sit. As you are not able to sit, everyone started cutting down. So when they started cutting down, filter. So now when the paper is coming, you are not able to handle this. It's only because of that reason. So we don't know where to strike the balance. Now you will realize but your next generation is there na, they will again come and ask, sir, if I attend fast track batch, will I get 80 marks, sir? Like that. There is no solution for this. We have to face it. For notification 60/2018 also, ICAI gave the time limit to re-export 6 months to 1 year. No. See, that 6 months plus 6 months is same. No change in that. 6 months plus 6 months, no change. That is correct only. Don't get confused there. Okay. Then November 24 exam paper and May 24 exam paper MCQ can I solve? Yes, you can solve, but it is of no use. Focus on BOS MCQs. Why PSF UDF tax is there for registered person? See, because PSF and UDF is collected by airlines and remitted to Airport Authority of India. When it is remitted to Airport Authority of India should pay GST on that. Okay, that's why. And whenever they pay GST, that can be taken as ITC ultimately by the customer, because ultimately customer is only paying na. Next. Actually, PSF, UDF, pure agent, it is not included in value. For airlines, it is not included. But for Airport Authority of India, they need to pay na. Airport Authority. So, just go through that concept again. Okay. Fine. Anything else? Okay. Fine. I don't want to waste your time. Please relax for some time. Take break. Have some coffee. Complete amendments. And to the extent possible, the ICAI case scenario MCQs, not 1 mark MCQ, like single MCQs, case scenario MCQs you focus. Thank you all and prepare well. All the very best. You will rock, guys. You will rock. Definitely you will rock. Don't worry. Just believe in you and don't think about the difficulty in the question paper. You attended my classes. Definitely, our preparation is so sincere and so much dedicated, so you all will clear. Don't think about the paper, think about the preparation. Fine, all those things what I said, regular batch, revision batch, etc. and all, fine, it's okay. You can't do anything, you cannot do time travel, but at least now you can put your effort and with more vigor put the hard work, because this one day is going to create big miracles. Okay, just one day you put more and more effort, definitely you will become successful. Don't think about anything else and result will be positive. Think that result will be positive, result will be positive, result will be positive. You see in the mark sheet that you are successful. Okay, that will happen. Don't worry about it. Okay, thank you, take care.